Welcome everybody to our trades of the week, and boy do we have some great news for you. For example, are we in a bubble right now? Well, I tell you what, it depends who you talk to. Some people would say bubble, I don't want to get in. Other people would say jump into that bubble, and we show you exactly what to do right now, making sure you're fully hedged, going long and short. We got some great stocks for you to look at. And in cryptos as well, there is one amazing crypto which has just broken its all-time high. And once that happens, all hell breaks loose, just like I predicted with Bitcoin. But has it closed above its all-time high? And that's what we're just about to find out. From myself, Marcus de Maria, and my head trader, Dennis Sahlström, let's get to it. So let's see what happened since last week. Dennis, take us away. Beyond Meat. Yes, of course. Remember, they were going with the trend towards veganism, and this is a really good company. And we were a little bit in profit already. We said that there was a little bit of inner support coming up here. Of course, we'd love it to go there, but to start being wary and start taking profit. Dennis, what happened?
So what happened was that it continued up. So it created this trough here, which was good.
Yeah, so if we were, normally we would be raising our stop loss to around here, but it's gone up so much I've actually taken my profit, and I think you have as well.
Yes, I have as well. You don't need to be greedy. It's just to sometimes we have 7 to 1. So for every dollar we're risking, we made $7. So that's really good.
That's pretty good. So can't wait for this to come back down so we can have another bite, at the non-meat, whatever that is. Okay, good.
Okay, next up is Twitter.
I think they have a lot of beetroot in there to make it bloody. Twitter, yes, we were looking to get in on a buffalo with a nice stop loss there, and then waiting for a stop order to take us in. Did it do that, Dennis?
Yes, it did indeed.
But first of all, it went down, didn't take us in. Then on the next one, so that would now be our stop loss, and we're slightly in profit. Good, let's see. Hopefully that will continue going up.
Yeah, so let's hope so. And next up is Appfolio. So Appfolio looked good, was on the support line, good company with good fundamentals.
Yep, so hopefully with a stop order going above that, so not much happened.
Yeah, well, we are in.
We're in.
But it's still at the support line, so I mean, if you didn't take action, do your research, but could be an opportunity.
Yeah, you could be getting in a better price than us. Okay, yeah. GW Pharmaceuticals, this one for a short, touching the line a little bit below this, and I think I said last time I'd love for there to be another candle going a little bit up before we get in. Oh,
absolutely.
Hello. Where are we here?
So what happened here was this candle, the red one. We're seeing. I can see
this one here.
Yeah, this one here, the red one right there.
So that would have taken us in.
Yeah. We're in. I'm in.
And it looks a little bit like it would have taken us out for a 1% loss, Dennis.
It does look like that, and I thought so too. But I looked in my account, and I was so close. It was a few cents from taking me out. So maybe today.
So you're not out. So hopefully, so hopefully it goes straight back down and not go up, take you out as it sometimes does, and then come back down.
So we'll see. But that's how the market works.
Yeah,
so
it's
I'm
only
not
a 1%.
And we had a 7% profit with Beyond Meat, right? So we have some margin there to have some losses in there.
True. And this one could be a potentially big one here. We had a minus 53% going in from our first position. So a lot of what we call margin of safety, or rather Warren Buffett would call that a margin of safety. And if you had gotten in, you'd be up 10%. Now we are generally looking for more than 10%. We're looking for 15 to 20%. So we're going to not get out of that immediately.
It looks positive. It looks like it's on its way to break up there as well, which is nice.
I think so. Give it a few more days. Let's see what happens there.
And next up is AstraZeneca, one of the companies with the vaccine.
Yes, Oxford AstraZeneca, down minus 22. So definitely time to have gotten in. Let's have a look, see what's happened there. And we are 7% in profit. So we need double that in order to even consider coming up, but it's going in the right direction.
And then we have Moderna, another company. They're doing well.
Yeah.
So we had 2 entries.
2 entries with a lot more, not a lot more, but a little bit more money here. So our average price probably around here. Okay. And
what happened is now it has rallied up. So plus 14% from the average price.
It's crazy, right? You wonder why it goes down so much and then comes up and then gaps up. This is called a gap, which is the difference of the close, and then there's air between the close and there, and that's probably on some positive news. So look, this is going in the right direction. We're very, very close to raising our stop loss. We won't go out directly, but we're going to raise our stop loss. Okay, we have a final one, I think.
Yeah, next up is Pfizer.
Of course, Pfizer. Okay, and this one was interesting because we said that there was a confluence between two different strategies. First one, the Buffalo trading or the VCA. And we thought, well, let's start getting in with the VCA without a stop loss.
Yeah.
Let's see what happened.
Yeah, and then
went down a little bit, and now slightly what? In profit?
Slightly in profit, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, but going in the right direction. Hopefully it will continue. As long as it goes above here, we should be absolutely fine.
Very good.
Yep, that's it. All right, so very excited about this week and what the markets are doing today, and more importantly, how you can profit from it. So let's go. The question we need to be asking ourselves right now is, are we in a bubble? Dennis, I think we've been in a bubble for quite a while, no?
Yes, absolutely.
So what do you do in a bubble? Because most people, I think, they see a bubble and they think, oh, get out. But some very, very famous investors like George Soros famously said, when I see a bubble, I jump in, because the bubble could carry on for a long time. And here's why. If you have a look at this, there is a lot of stimulus going on. There's a lot of money printing going on. The new administration under Biden is proposing a 1.9 trillion stimulus, not billion with a B, trillion with a T. This is a huge amount of money. Interest rates are going to stay low. Both of these things, interest rates being low, and of course, this printing of money and the stimulus is very good for the stock market. Dennis, in the short term, right?
Yes, in the short term, absolutely. So I think it's interesting. I looked at like previous bubbles we've had, and there's loads of them. Like we have the tulip bubble, the crypto, some say is in a bubble, right? But if those bubbles can go on for 4 or 5 years, and do you want to miss out of that? So I think the only way to play bubbles is to follow kind of the bubble, what is happening, and this seems to be going up, right, with everything that's going on.
Maybe
but
another way of saying it is the trend, because as soon as you say bubble, follow the bubble, it's just like, most people don't like that. So follow the trend. We always say the trend is your
friend.
And how long could that carry on for? A long, long time. So don't try and guess that now's a bubble, get out is one thing, but definitely don't go against it. Don't start shorting and putting all your positions into that. Having said that, Dennis, we do need to hedge. We need to make sure that we have some ups and downs. So in other words, longs and also shorts. So what are we going to look at this week for people to have a look at? I think we've got some good ones here now.
Yeah, so the first one is Agios Pharmaceuticals.
Oh.
Now, it is a pharmaceutical company. It is at the trend line at the moment. As long as it's not breaking this high it created in December, I think we could still be going down. And what makes me a little bit positive on this is if we take a quick look at
Positive or negative?
Well, negative, but positive that it's going to work out. But,
positive that it's going to be negative.
Yeah. So if we take a look here at the fundamentals, you see the earnings per share, how much they're making is negative. It's been since 2015 and it has increased as well.
It's gotten worse. It's gotten worse.
Yeah, exactly. It's gotten a lot worse. And the income is negative. You have the return on assets minus 37%, return on equity minus 57%. So it's not that good, I must say.
No, we're going to show you another company in just a moment, which is a really solid company. And you see you don't have all of these reds that are going on. And this basically shows that the company isn't being run properly. Maybe no fault of the company, maybe no fault of the management, but it's just the way it is. So these are the ones that we're going to short. Now, when we're going to do this, when we're going short, we always have a stop loss, okay? So we're only ever risking 1% of our entire portfolio. So we're not doing what we do when we go long, value cost averaging in, because the bias in the stock market is always up. This one here, Agios Pharmaceuticals, definitely bad fundamentals. It's at the top of a range. We are looking to get in just below this mark here. So we're not going to get yes, that's right. We're not doing a vertical buffalo. Yeah, sorry, we are doing a vertical buffalo. So therefore, we're going to wait until it goes below this point here. We're at this point here right now. So it really has to go into our direction before we go in using something called a stop order. I repeat, a stop order. To entry that, okay? And then Dennis has drawn a really nice risk reward ratio of at least a 1 to 3. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, so if you're not familiar with this, the stop loss would be a little bit above, right? So if it goes against us, if we're wrong, because the market could go two ways. Markets usually get it right. It either can go up or it can go down.
Yeah, I'm very good at that. I'm very good at calling that, I must say. I have been right, 100% of the time when I've said that.
Yeah. So we don't know, right? It's all about the probabilities. We Beyond Meat, we made 7%, then we might lose 1% here and there, but then we might make another 7%. And over time, it's a numbers game, right? If you have a good strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And next up is Coca-Cola.
Okie dokie.
Famous
So
company.
talking of good strategies, this one is using the Buffalo again, the famous Buffalo strategy. Now, here you can see that that trend is slightly bullish, but what I love about this is that confluence of two lines, 1 and 2, and it's right there bouncing on those two lines. So this one looks quite strong. We've got a really nice risk reward ratio there, Dennis. So we are looking to get in. In fact, it looks like we should already have gotten in slightly on this one here. So if we were to get in here, then we might be getting in better than we would have gotten in had we gotten in a few days ago.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what we do like with Coca-Cola is, of course, it's a solid company. They have products all over the world. They have good earnings per share, so they're making good money. You even see the income, 8.3 billion. It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, and
so look, when
it's a
you
good
look at
company.
these kind of things, you know, Coca-Cola, and you might say, well, I don't drink Coca-Cola, it's bad for you, so I'm not going to buy the company. It does a lot more. You're probably drinking a Coca-Cola product without knowing it. It could be water. I mean, they are very diversified. Although it is fair to say they're not as diversified as Pepsi, who does a lot more snacks and stuff like that. But still,
Correct.
it is very, very diversified. The RSI is also low. I don't know whether you saw that, but it is ready to go in. So therefore, you know, we could either go in now, I suppose, or wait for it just to push us up maybe above this high, just to make sure it is going in our direction. So we've got a short, we've got an up. Is there anything else we can look at, do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Just one last thing to mention here is it looks that buyers are coming back here. You can see that there's a lot of green candles that are pushing the price higher. So buyers are trying to push it higher, which is good. We're seeing a level of consolidation that's going sideways for a bit at the support, and we like to see that. And now just a bounce higher.
Yep, make sure you have your stop loss in that. One last thing that we want to say is, well, let's have a look at the next one, which is Salesforce.
And one of the reasons is there are some concerns in the market as well.
Okay, there's some concerns?
There's some concerns. Like when Biden now has entered the office, he has warned about a national lockdown as well. So we don't know if it's going to happen, but if it happens, we do want to be prepared. And one interesting thing with Salesforce, it's a big CRM system that do loads of things, but they have bought another company.
They bought Slack. Now, I never use Slack myself, but it's like an internal chat room for your company and how to share tasks, etc. And people are saying it's absolutely amazing. And it has great fundamentals, Salesforce. So let's have a look. I tell you what, are you looking at a fundamentals or not? Because I tell you something, what generally tends to happen if a company buys another company, the acquiring company that is doing the acquiring, the purchasing, tends to have what's called a little bit of indigestion, because it's going to have one type of culture, now it's buying another one. It's not that two companies come together and it always works. That's not the case at all. So generally speaking, Dennis, this isn't in the short term that good.
No, I agree, and that happened a couple of weeks ago in December actually. So we did see that it did go down on the news, and it has consolidated since then. So we'll see, it could probably go down more, but then we would just enter again. But I think if we have a national lockdown, a lot of people will be using Slack, so I think it's a very good addition to Salesforce. And people are using Salesforce as well.
Yeah, obviously Salesforce, a CRM system, and the ticker, funnily enough, is CRM.
Yeah, so if we take a quick look at the fundamentals here, we'll see that it has a good income, right? And the return on asset equity is positive at least. Earnings per share this year, not as great, but hopefully that will improve with Slack now coming in, who has good numbers as well. Sales has been increasing though, which I like in 2020 naturally because of the lockdown. A lot of more people are using the online platforms as well. I
have to say, personally, I'm not convinced by these numbers, Dennis. Honestly, when I see reds like this, earnings per share next year minus, I don't mind this year, but next year it gets me a little bit nervous. This isn't one for me, but please do your own research. All right,
absolutely.
Next. Okay, finally today we are going to be talking about what's happening in cryptos. Let's not have a look at Bitcoin right now. What I want to talk about is that when big companies, big institutions like the Rothschilds, for example, recently increased its position by a 24% increase from October. The institutions are coming in. So this is going to be pushing out. Remember, in 2017, it was people like Dennis and myself and you that were pushing it up with our 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000. These guys are going in with a lot more money. So I think 2021 is going to be very, very bullish, Dennis.
Yes, I think so too. I do think it's going to be very bullish. I do hope, though, for the sake of it, because it's just been going up, 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 up. I do hope, and we can have a look at that over here as well. You can see with Ethereum that it's just been going up, 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 and up. So it would be good to have a little...
Well, recently, right? Because look. I mean,
that's
obviously,
2017.
This is 2017. Went all the way down. We were doing our value cost averaging all around here. This is my second largest position, and boy, oh boy, has that paid off now, because my average price is around here. And so that's been rather good. And obviously not just the price, but years of investing going in. So it's percentage and money. And Ethereum, actually... Sorry, you wanted to say something about that?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I do hope we get maybe 1 or 2 months of that it goes maybe sideways or down a little bit. So we get a little break from this. I don't hope so, but I do think that's very good for the bull market.
But why is that?
I think that's good because if it goes up too quickly, that might lead to a lot of panic selling, and I think that's just could really crash the price.
So sustainability. So when something goes up like this, then goes up, goes like that, that is sustainable because the sellers are able to get out and then maybe buy some more. Yeah. Whereas here they're all like trying. Mind you, there was a little bit going on here, but it has gone up rather fast, even though it's taken quite a long time. Talking though of Ethereum. A lot of institutions are now asking about what else to get into, just Bitcoin. What else do we get into? And of course, the number 2 is Ethereum. So people are starting to get into that. And if you have a look at the usage of Ethereum, it is the most widely used in the world in terms of all the decentralized applications, the DApps that are on there. So it isn't just like Bitcoin, which is like a store of value. It is also being used a lot because it's a lot faster than Bitcoin. Arguably cheaper.
Yeah, some are even saying like Internet 2.0, right? So all the Amazon and Facebooks of the blockchain, they can actually be built on the Ethereum blockchain. And as a holder of the Ethereum, you get kind of value of all that, right? So you are an owner of the whole network in a way.
Well, with the relaunch of 2.0, you can actually stake it now as well. So staking is like getting dividends. So you can get up to 8%, maybe even more to start off with. And then it will probably settle a little bit lower than that. So getting dividends as well is going to allow a lot more institutions and people like you and me to get in as well, because they'll go, well, how much do I have in the bank? I'm getting 0.1%. How much do I get with Ethereum? 8% a year. I think we might get into that. Now, people will look at this chart and go, oh my goodness, I know what you said last time, Marcus. As soon as it breaks that high, it is time to get in. So what I said with Bitcoin is when Bitcoin, now listen closely, closes above 20,000, there's no ceiling, and therefore it's going to go massively up, which of course it did to 41,000. It's the same here. Can you see how it broke through? Yes, but it hasn't closed yet. It needs to close above its previous high, which is at 1,400. As soon as it closes above that, I'm telling you, there are no glass ceilings anymore. It's going to go up massively. Some people are calling for 5,000, a few even for 10,000 this year, Dennis.
Absolutely.
What do you think?
I think that's probable. And we looked last week about Bitcoin, how that might go up 1,000%. In the next bull market. And if that's the case with Ethereum, I think it's very probable, especially if we see that the use case and the usage of it keeps going up. So I think it's becoming very, very popular as well. But if we zoom in a little bit and take a closer look at what is happening now on Ethereum as well, we can see there's a little channel forming there. So in the shorter term here, we're looking for a breakout of this channel that has been formed here. You see those 2 black lines. So we'll see what happens there. If it breaks above that, like you say, then I think we're off to the races as well. Then we might get another push to the upside. But just remember, if you're not in yet, make sure you follow a strategy though. Don't just rush in, don't just mortgage your house and get in. Make sure you use a strategy because there will always be buying opportunities.
Yeah, for example, how about using our CCA strategy? Let's have a look. which is our crypto cost average strategy that we love to use. Let's have a look at another one here before we finish, which is Engine Coin. Okay.
Engine Coin is very interesting. It's actually a gaming crypto. So there's so many use cases here, but the cryptos was actually initially a lot involved with gaming because it was created by programmers, gamers, and how they can use it in games to buy things, to buy, you know, armors for their characters or whatever it could be. So it's kind of a currency of the internet.
It's gone up massively though, absolutely massively. Look at that, 100, almost, even more than that, 200%. Since, even more than that, what am I talking about? 100, 200, almost 250, even more percent in a very, very short space of time. So please watch out. Dennis always says, we always say, use a strategy. Wait till it pulls back here, and using our CCA, but for small cap stocks, because this isn't one of the bigger ones, this is one of the smaller ones. We like to get in not a -20, but a -25%. But one thing I do have to say, listen to this. Engine Coin, I'm going to read this out, became the first gaming cryptocurrency approved by the Japanese regulators. Ooh.
That is exciting.
Yeah, the blockchain gaming platform said its token would be listed on CoinCheck on January the 26th this year, allowing Japanese users to purchase it with yen. So you can just, with yen, you don't have to go through Bitcoin first, and trade with Bitcoin. So it's broken its high, all-time high. Wait for it to come back down. And it does, right? It does have these wild swings. Wait for it to go. But what if it doesn't, Marcus? The rule is never chase I was going to say stock, but never chase anything. You say, oh, I didn't really want to go in at this price, but hey, I'm going to go in this price. And that's when it comes down. Never do that. Choose where it comes in. We think at between 35, so around the 37 mark. Have a look yourself. Please do learn strategies with rules. It's so important because when all mayhem gets loose, it goes up too fast, it comes down too fast. Most people panic. The reason that we don't panic is only because we have rules that are written down. That's the only reason.
Yeah, imagine driving a car without any rules and you didn't know how to do it. You would panic and you would crash, and that's the same here. So,
actually, that's not true, because as long as everybody else doesn't have rules either, you're fine. Because once I went to Taiwan, and I don't think anybody has rules there. I mean, literally, everybody just goes. There were no, I was dying in the back. The taxi driver was laughing his head off. But if I got in there with rules, I'd have an accident.
Yeah.
Whereas you just got to go, hiya, and just go.
I think they had some kind of rules. The same in Thailand. It was also
There's no rules.
Mayhem, but they don't do good drivers. But one thing to know as well, remember this, that if you miss an opportunity, the next best opportunity will come tomorrow. There's 5,000 cryptos, there's 7,000 stocks, there's so many assets you can invest in. You will always be able to find an opportunity if you miss one. So I think that's kind of comforting to know, at least, because then you can find the next Engine Coin, right?
All right, so let us know whether that's something that you might be looking to get into as well. Well, I hope you enjoyed this week's update. So tell us below, what do you think? Are we in a bubble or not? And even if we are you going to jump into that bubble like George Soros? What do you think about our picks? Are you going to be going long? Are you going to be going short? Make sure that you let us know. And what about cryptos? Are you going to jump into Ethereum? Are you going to wait for a pullback? Are you going to wait for it to close above its all-time high since 2017? Or Engine Coin? What do you think about that? So please comment below. Also, please make sure that you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on these things. I tell you, this is exactly what we are doing in our trading room. So all you need to do is just wait for it to come into your inbox once a week, and then you can do your research on that as well. And if you have a second, make sure you hit the like button. We'd be very thankful indeed. We look forward to seeing you next week.